Hey, so I have a question for you.
Hit me.
So I've been listening to 99% Invisible ever since you recommended it to me.
Oh, so good, right?
So good. And we need to take a tip from them. Perfect amount of time.
What do you mean?
Like, their shows are like 20 minutes. I mean,
20 minutes. It's magical, right? And they
Yeah.
get so much accomplished in 20 minutes.
I learned so much, and I can knock out like 2, maybe 3 on my way to work, you know?
Right, exactly.
So I was thinking about what is the next big thing for cereal? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get your input on this.
Oh, what the next big thing is?
Yeah, I've got an idea. I think what we really need to look at is portability, right?
Uh-huh.
People are on the go. They're living their life. They're doing their thing. They don't have time to sit down at the table and eat
Who has
cereal.
time?
Yeah.
Who has time?
I was thinking about how they have those yogurts with like the toppings on the side and you like bend it over and drop like the granola into the yogurt.
Uh-huh.
Your thoughts on a self-contained milk and cereal package, but the milk is like the shelf-stable Parmalat?
Uh-huh.
So you could eat it at room temperature.
Okay. Here's where we get into problems. Here's where we get into the sticky wickets.
Hot milk is gross.
Well, that's one. Hot milk is gross. If we could even get a tasty milk, we have to worry about the slosh factor. Mm-hmm. Because if you're carrying it around, it's sloshing around, it's getting on your clothes. What do you do then? And it's got to have an open top, or else you can't eat it. Mm-hmm. So either we're talking about like a boba situation where you have like the balls at the bottom, and it's like a tea that you drink, and you drink the milk with the cereal at the same time through a straw. Or we have to develop some kind of maybe like a what's that thing, a McFlurry situation. Oh. You have like a bubble top that's got the spoon in there that you kind of scoop out. It's just got a really long spoon so you can get all the way down to the bottom.
I thought you were going to go with force field.
Well, I mean, for the future, like when we're all on Mars and we're eating cereal, looking at the Earth rise in the far distance, yeah. Then of course we'll have our force fields around that will keep the sloshing milk from getting onto our clothes.
But then you have to have a mini shield generator with each bowl, and that just drives the per piece cost way too high.
I mean, and also, like, who develops that technology? Mm-hmm. How is Kellogg's going to steal that technology away from the company that develops it? Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of litigation that's involved.
Maybe that will be something I'll try out. At least, what does it taste like to eat cereal with room temperature Parmalat?
Prediction, it's going to be disgusting.
Oh, God. Well, so this is Paul.
And this is Nick.
And this is Cereal.
Cereal!
Oh, man, well, I have to tell you, I'm glad we had a nice upbeat intro because I am really not looking forward to today's conversation.
Oh, come on, man. Paul,
but
this is going to be great stuff.
Open hearts and open minds. That's what I bring to this podcast, okay?
That's what you're known for. That's what your platform is open hearts and open minds.
If there was if there's a way to describe me, I'm sure it's optimistic, upbeat, happy all the time.
And definitely open-minded.
That's right. Open to change. You know, I've called this volume 1 because I think this is just going to definitely have a follow-up discussion, but it's also just going to be ongoing.
Yeah, we're just going to be scratching the surface, really, for this one. Just kind of introducing people to the discussion. This is something that we've talked about several times throughout the podcast, but now we're really bringing you into the mind brains, into the soft parts of our brains, to really what we think and how we're approaching this particular subject.
Deep within the folds of the gray matter.
Right. Just like up in those creases, up in those crevices, just get cozy in there.
We are talking about hot cereal today.
Hot cereal.
So what we're going to talk about today is essentially your 2 basic hot cereals, which are oatmeal, of course, and cream of wheat.
To tell you the truth, I don't think I've ever had cream of wheat before.
Oh, well, that's good. You're gonna get some learning today.
I'm gonna learn a few things today.
We're going to talk a little bit about the history, and then Nick is really our staff expert, hot cereal raconteur, he's really going to be the guy that's going to tell us what's the deal. What's the deal with oatmeal?
You guys can't see my desk, but there's I do have a small placard on my desk for people that come in here, and it says Nick Campbell, resident oatmeal expert, Super Zero podcast. It's a very long plaque that I have on the desk, but that's what it says.
He has a ribbon that he wears to our special events as well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I have a sash.
yeah, it's too long for a ribbon.
Yeah, it's a sash that I wear along with my top hat that I wear to all events, and I look like I'm going to the World's Fair all the time.
So oatmeal is, I did some research on this, and it sounds like oatmeal and porridge are basically the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
oatmeal is what we call it in the U.S. Porridge is what they call it everywhere else. So
that's what Jamie Oliver calls it. So I assume that's what they call it everywhere.
What I also found interesting is that gruel is technically oatmeal as well. It all makes sense to me now, I'll tell you that much.
Why would you call food that? Just the sound coming out of your mouth. It has the worst mouthfeel. Gruel.
Yeah, well, and I think that's what it is because it's terrible. So oatmeal porridge is essentially just oats cooked with water or milk, and gruel is just a very, very, very thin version of it. So more water than oatmeal. And it's, unfortunately has a very negative connotation.
It has a very negative connotation associated with abused orphans.
Yeah, Dickensian orphanages. So you cook your oatmeal with water or milk. You can add sweetener. I mean, if you're talking traditionally, it's like brown sugar or something like that. But Nick will cool us up to what the kids are doing. And then if it's cooked thick, and my mom used to do this, you can actually pour milk on top to sort of thin it out or maybe cool it down or something like that. There's two types of oats out there. So, let me back it up before I get a nasty tweet. There's basically two types of oats. You have rolled oats, which is your Quaker oats, which is your traditional oatmeal. And those are, the oat has been dehusked, steamed, and then they roll it into the flat flakes, like those flat little circles. You also have steel cut oats, which the oat has been dehusked and chopped, and it's named for the process where, so it's cut through a steel blade. Those are like Irish oats, right?
Yeah, those are the same thing as Irish oats, yeah.
For me, that's like when I go to a restaurant and they have oatmeal on the menu, it's like steel cut is acceptable to have on a menu.
For some reason, people seem to think that steel cut is somehow more prestigious or more fancier. It's not better for you. It's not there's no added health factor. It's just ooh, steel cut oats. Mm-hmm.
I think also the fact that it takes longer to cook, maybe it's not as fast cook. And like you said, because it hasn't been as common in the US for so long.
Yeah. I mean, it's because the cooking factor is how much you cut it. So steel cut oats aren't cut as much as the rolled oats are. And the rolled oats are cut even thinner, and that's how you get instant oats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're basically flattened, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about how it's cut and rolled.
Cut and roll, man.
Cut and roll, man. Oh yeah.
That's what they say at the Quaker factory.
They're like, it's 5 o'clock, man. Got cut and roll. You know what I'm saying?
It's Friday, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's cut and roll, guys. Come on, let's move it out.
Let's cut and roll.
Cue and then steam whistle.
And then they get to the bar happy hour. Jim from accounting, he gets a little too into his drink, and it looks like Jim cut and roll a little too hard last night. You know what I'm saying?
They all drink oatmeal stout. They love it, man. They live it.
They love it. They love it. They live oatmeal. That's all they know how to do. If you try to serve somebody from Quaker Oats eggs. Mm-mm. They will throw that in your face. They'll flip a table right at you.
Oh, yeah.
They only see oats. You put a frittata in front of them, they won't even see it. They won't even know it's there. Mm-mm. They're like, I don't see breakfast. I see nothing. I see blankness. I see a void in front of me. Where are my oats?
When they get toast, they look at the top. So they look at the side, which was the top of the loaf. If it wasn't sprinkled with oats, it's gone. No, they frisbee that out the window.
Well, worse yet, sometimes they'll like smack it into the waiter's face like it was a pie and just like smear the topping on their face, and they're like, "Bring me real bread. This is fake bread. This is poison that you're trying to give me. I deserve better than this."
And the whole time they're holding the toast against his face.
Right.
Like he's soaked in margarine.
Just like rubbing his face like a dog's nose into the carpet, just shoving it into his face.
What is this? What is this? No.
No. Bad.
I want to just talk quickly about Quaker Oats and the oats specifically. I know we've talked about Quaker. We kind of went through their history a little bit, but just wanted to cover up, because Quaker really is the oat brand, I guess, for the U.S. It's one everyone's aware of.
They are the oat masters.
They, as a brand, Quaker Oats, it's been around since 1877. So it's definitely one of the older brands out there.
Wait, how old is it? 1877?
1877. 8 years before Doc Brown used the locomotive to get up to 88 miles per hour to get back to the future.
That is old. Doc Brown on that morning could have had Quaker Oats.
I bet he did. That's all they had in that crappy town. Yeah, so 1877, and it's kind of gone through some. It was a merger of multiple oat mills, but they came up with Quaker Oats. In 1915 is when they debuted that round cylinder package.
How long after? 38 years.
So I mean, it was just in a traditional box.
Yeah,
and then they came out with that round package.
The round package is so iconic, even though it is murder to my cupboard organization because it's a.
Oh my god! I know, it's like your spice cabinet. There's so much wasted space.
There's a lot of wasted space because of the round. I need corners so I can stack and organize. Come on, Quaker.
Come on, man. So that's been around for over 100 years. That round package. Now This is my most vivid memory of the Quaker Oats round package. When I was a kid, and we're in Massachusetts at this time, and I'm probably 10 years old, I guess.
Okay.
I'm in Cub Scouts. So whatever you're in Cub Scouts.
Yeah, that's about 10 years old.
We had to do, because in Cub Scouts, you always do skits.
Wait, do you?
Yeah, well, we had to do like skits. And it was like you would take history or some kind of thing that you learned about Cub Scouts, and they had us do skits and stuff.
I had never had to do that.
Because we had to dress up for the election. So it could have been 88 or it could have been 92. I'm assuming, because we each had to be a president. Because we were talking about voting, we were talking about the election. So I had to be Abraham Lincoln, and my mom used the round oatmeal can as the Abe Lincoln hat.
I think that's universally the Abe Lincoln hat. It's just like the easy way to do that.
So that's my most vivid memory. My other memory about the round can of Quaker Oats is I have never finished the entire can.
Really?
Like we'll buy it for baking, or like my mom will buy it for eating, and it's just like never get through. It's too much. It's so much oatmeal.
I go through 3 of them a month usually. You eat 2 or 3 of them a month.
You eat Quaker Oats?
Yeah.
Nice. 1922, 7 years after the round package and 45 years after Quaker Oats comes around, they release Quick Oats.
Okay.
Now,
yeah, what's that?
So Quick Oats, they cook in 1 minute.
Ah, okay.
And basically what it is they're slightly pre-cooked and they're thinner than rolled oats. Mm-hmm. So they're a thinner oatmeal. They're pre-cooked, kind of like a parboiled rice kind of thing. So they're probably like flash cooked. They put them in the can. They cook in 1 minute. 1966 is when they release instant oats.
That's even thinner, I would imagine.
So I think instant oats are probably like partially translucent.
Right.
And they are, I mean, you pour hot water and they're instantly ready. They're just good to go.
Right.
That comes out, instant oats. That's a very big deal because, who has a minute? But also, I think in 1922 to 1966, you still have to cook them on the stovetop. So right. Being able to boil water, pour it over, stir it up, you're good to go. And then the last real date that I thought was of significance was in 1970, the first flavored instant oatmeal is introduced.
What flavor was it?
the most common and best flavor of instant oatmeal, in my opinion, maple brown sugar.
Maple brown sugar is a very solid flavor, for sure.
Now check this out. They come up with maple brown sugar, which is distributed nationally, and date and brown sugar distributed regionally.
Huh.
I like dates and I like brown sugar, but I don't know what date and brown sugar oatmeal would taste like.
It might be too sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a weird combination. What was the instant oatmeal that your parents made you eat the whole box of, like it was a carton of cigarettes?
So that was the variety pack, but I think the variety pack would always include maple brown sugar, and the biggest disappointment in cereal history, the apples and cinnamon.
That's a bold statement. There's a lot of disappointments in cereal history.
This one was like, oh, apple cinnamon, it's going to be so good. And the apples were like freeze-dried, like the size of an almond. You know, like they were so small. And it was like, you know what it is? Because in your head, you see the apple cinnamon, but you forget that it's still oatmeal. Uh-huh. You're like, oh, even apple cinnamon can't save this mush.
When I was growing up, I never really liked oatmeal. And I think for the same reason, because I always ate the instant oatmeal. And the instant oatmeal is disgusting. Like you have to be somehow perfect you have to be able to have patience to watch the thing cook and then make sure that it's not overcooked, because it's so easy to overcook an instant oatmeal. And then it becomes just like this horrible texture. It's like you're eating vomit, and like it may not taste like vomit, but it's like it would be like if you had like clam chowder and then were trying to like eat your regurgitated clam chowder. That's what it feels like that you're eating, like apple cinnamon flavored regurgitated clam chowder.
That sounds horrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's all instant oatmeal can give you. That's all it can provide for you. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you have to go with the old fashioned rolled oats or the steel cut oats. Because at least you have time to like go back and forth and like be able to watch it cook, and then you could stop it at the right time for a good texture.
That's a very good point, because I am not a fan of instant oatmeal.
It's gross.
It's pretty bad, but I do like steel cut. My only concern with steel cut, I don't make it at home. I don't make oatmeal at home, and if I get steel cut out, it's only because I'm at like a breakfast event, like a business breakfast or some kind of thing where...
Your breakfast adventures only happen in business settings.
Well, I mean, if I go out to breakfast on a weekend, I'm getting... But my point is, if I'm getting steel-cut oats for breakfast at a restaurant, it's because it's a work day and I don't have the time to like sleep off a 2,500 calorie breakfast.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But the problem is because you're at a restaurant and you're spending like $13.95, they give you, a gallon of cooked steel cut oats, and it's just like eating sand. It's so much. It's so much. It's like eating oatmeal out of a paint bucket. It's just like,
it's too much.
It's just too much. But
like, people bring it's like, here's your sandbox full of oatmeal.
It is like,
feel free to lounge around in it while you eat it.
Or it's like a sensory deprivation chamber, and they like pour it in like Elle in Stranger Things, and it's like, all right, Paul, eat your way out while you take notes on your laptop.
And don't worry, if you see something scary inside, it can't hurt you.
Just eat it. Okay, so tell me about... I definitely want to hear sort of the modern takes on oatmeal. Now, my experience with sort of modern / cool / hipster oatmeal, and this is like not any of those, is how they like sell oatmeal at Starbucks and stuff, where you get like your little accoutrement and all this stuff, and it comes in a cool little cup, and it's paper, and you get your little fruit and nut pack and all this stuff.
So yeah, the Starbucks version of it is kind of like the McDonald's version of what the oatmeal revolution kind of the last few years has been kind of like. I feel like that oatmeal is kind of Like it reached a peak maybe like a year ago, and then it's kind of fallen off since then. In order to kind of give you some of the things that are happening, some of the things that people are putting in oatmeal, I decided to make a little game.
Okay.
This game we're gonna call "Would Paul Eat It?" I'm gonna give you some ingredients that I have found on Instagram posts and on trusted oatmeal recipe posts.
Okay.
Places like Serious Eats, places like Kitchen, like trusted recipe sites. And I'm gonna give you a list of items. You're gonna tell me if you would eat one of those things or some of that stuff inside of oatmeal. Okay.
Okay. So a couple questions before we get started. Okay.
Okay.
So these are items that I would eat mixed into oatmeal.
Mixed into oatmeal, not necessarily on its own, but
Okay.
would you eat it mixed in with oatmeal?
Is there clearly it's yes, no. Is there a third option if I don't know what it is?
I've chosen things that you will know what all these are.
Okay, good.
At least 9 out of 10 of these things.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. I'm gonna start off easy with you.
Okay.
Peanut butter.
Yes.
You would eat peanut butter. That surprises me. Okay.
I eat peanut butter straight up.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Figs.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
You're gonna give figs a go?
I'll give it a go.
Paul,
I'll
you're
give it a go.
so much more adventurous than I thought you would
I'll give it a go.
All right.
I'll give it a
You're
go
gonna
because
give it a go.
I like fig Newtons, and my dad eats figs by the gross. So I would give it a try.
Okay. Raisins.
No.
No on the raisins.
No.
I figured that. Okay. Canned pumpkin.
Yeah, I think I would. I do like pumpkin.
All right.
Do
Canned
like pumpkin.
You are adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chocolate.
Is it how's it going in? Chunks or liquid?
Chunks.
Yep.
Into the chocolate.
Yep. Chocolate chunks, yeah. Chocolate liquid, I don't think so. That feels like something General Mills would do.
Chocolate liquid.
Yeah. It's like, all natural, 100% organic oatmeal, and then here's this hot fudge packet.
Check out the swirls you can do.
Yeah, it's like when Yoplait does yogurt, but then here's these mini M&Ms to put in it. It's like, what are you doing?
You have made this dessert. It was fine as a breakfast item, and you've made it dessert. Okay. Parmesan cheese.
No.
No. He's gonna say no to that one.
No.
He's gonna say no.
I'll come back to that later in the show, but I don't think I can.
Okay. A banana.
Cut up whole, like a cut up fresh banana.
Like a cut up fresh banana. Straight into the oatmeal. Like you make the oatmeal and you just cut the banana right into the oatmeal.
Ooh, is it gonna melt slightly?
It's gonna. I mean, it's gonna get that little like that sugary kind of that fructose kind of glaze on it.
Oh man, I do like banana, but I don't like chunks in my. I'll go for it. We'll do it.
You're gonna try it.
We'll do it. A little banana, little bit,
just a half a tiny banana.
I'm gonna Robert De Niro it a little bit.
Little bit.
A little bit banana.
You'd
You insulted him a little bit.
Sweet potato.
Chunked or mash?
You know what? I'll let you choose which one. Yeah, we'll do mash first, then chunked.
Mash yes, chunked no.
Mash yes, chunked no. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the last one, fried egg.
Runny yolk, yes.
Runny yolk, of course. Only the runny yolk.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Only runny yolk. You know, Paul, you've really impressed me with how much of this you actually.
Oh well, thank you.
try.
And I've noticed something about myself with all of these.
Yeah.
And what it is if it won't be chunky, if it can be mixed in and sort of blended, I think I go for that more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems like the less that you can actually recognize it as a food that occurs in nature, you're into it.
Here's the thing. I want to make sure that every bite I get flavor. Because if I have like chunky stuff in it, I might get one without a chunk and it's just oatmeal.
It's just oatmeal then.
It's like it's like the first few times you eat Lucky Charms, you don't know what you're doing. So you eat all the marshmallows first and then you're just left with alphabets. That's what I would do with like, chunky stuff in oatmeal. I'd be like, oh, banana, oh, banana, oh, banana. Oh, I just got oatmeal now. I should have just bought a hot banana.
I should have just bought a hot banana covered in oats.
Yeah, a lot of those sound pretty interesting. And I think they have to be more sweet and fruit based.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the trend in oatmeal has become more like oatmeal is the base. And then you usually have a sweetener, a fruit or some kind of produce. And then you have like some kind of protein in there too to kind of. Oatmeal is already a meal that sticks to you. It sticks to your ribs, man. It sticks to your bones.
Oh,
and it lasts you until lunch. And that's, cereal sometimes has that problem where it kind of like evaporates inside of you and you're hungry like an hour later. And oatmeal's already that way. It kind of sticks to you for a while. So if you add in like protein, you add in some fruit with the fiber in there, then it lasts you a good long time. So yeah, you usually end up adding something like a maple syrup or brown sugar, or usually not like sugar itself. It's usually something like honey or something like that, but never like actually like straight granulated sugar. Then you mix in something like blueberries, strawberries, bananas. I was doing pluits for a while. Peaches is also really good. Apples, those kinds of things. Pears is also really good. Mix those kinds of fruit in there, and then you add in some kind of protein, some other kind of protein, which could be almond slivers or
nuts,
nuts or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Even sometimes I've seen ancient grains mixed in with the oats too. So I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, but that's I've seen that also. And then there's also the savory ones that you can do that aren't the sweet. So you could do like a Parmesan cheese, salt, fried egg on top and mix that in. It's a different direction, but the same kind of system where you're just kind of like you're taking oatmeal as a base. It's a very good base for you to mix in stuff, and then you just kind of mix in whatever you feel like actually having.
I mean, the way you describe it, it sounds very appealing.
Right. It should be, because it's very appealing.
All right. So
and I appreciate that.
2 questions from the commoner gallery on the second floor.
Yeah, okay.
Up in the balcony.
Yeah.
What about mixing in jam?
I'm into it.
Is that an acceptable practice?
Yeah, I think that is. I've
preserves.
seen it a couple times.
Yeah,
preserves. Yeah, just like mixing in your grape jelly or like goobers.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to squeeze your goobers into there.
Now, goobers is a time saver, though.
I mean, it's the peanut butter and the jelly mixed together.
Yeah.
So definitely you want your goobers in there. but maybe like on a sandwich, it's good. In your oatmeal, I would say that you're better served putting in like a strawberry preserve. But see, I also like to see the chunks. So okay. I like to see the stuff. But I think that's almost like the mixture of our worlds, because if you mix in like a strawberry or apple preserve into you get the jam, you get the gelatin throughout the entire thing, but then you also get the chunks.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. The second question is opinion on canned fruit for oatmeal. And the reason I ask, is not because I have a less discerning palate when it comes to fruit, even though I do.
You do, yeah, you do. But okay.
But you've got the fruit, but then you have the option of the juice. Like, so you open a can of peaches, you put the peaches in, and then you can put some of the syrup in as your sweetener. Now, it may not be the grade or quality that say a Nick would eat, but thoughts on that option, right? So you've got the canned peaches, you put the peaches in, you pour a little bit of whatever juice was in the can, and then it's kind of like 2 birds, 1 can.
Here's what I would prefer to that. I'm not saying that it's a bad option. I'm saying there are better options, and it's the last on the list of good options.
I think what you're saying is do it in the house with the shades drawn and the stereo really loud so nobody knows what you're up to.
So nobody can see you. Make sure there are no cameras.
Yeah, that's right.
what I feel like is the better option to what you're saying is to, if you had like a bag of like frozen fruit,
there you go.
To toss like frozen fruit in while it's cooking down. So like you have the frozen fruit kind of cooking, you get the juices mixed in with the evaporating liquid. So then you're sweetening it with the frozen fruit inside of it. So the fruit cooks with the oatmeal. And then you also have hot fruit instead of like just cutting fruit into it and mixing the lukewarm fruit with the oatmeal. So you have hot fruit. It's a good on a winter morn. Is what I would say.
That's a very good option. So the frozen fruit, yeah, that would be good. Mm-hmm. I like where you're headed with this, Nick.
You know that I love cold cereal, and it's just that I feel like sometimes cold cereal doesn't allow a lot of options because they're all packed with so much flavor that it doesn't really let you kind of experiment with like other kinds of produce and fruit. But then on the other hand, I don't go to Captain Crunch so I can experiment. I go to Captain Crunch because I want that flavor. I need those doubloons.
Yeah, well, oatmeal it's cooking. I mean, it really is. I think that's what it ends up being. So you've got that freedom to add in, to sort of customize it yourself, where like you've said, honey bunches of oats is honey bunches of oats. You're not doctoring it up. It's predetermined.
Yeah, you're coming, if you're going to honey bunches of oats, you're going there for honey bunches of oats. You're not going there for honey bunches of oats plus whatever's in your cupboard. That's not how you're playing. That's not how you play that game. And you shouldn't play that game that way. Yeah,
we don't want you playing fast and loose with honey bunches of oats.
Yeah, Post does not want you to do that.
Those gammas will find you.
They don't. Those mole people don't make the honey bunch of oats just so that you can play fast and loose with the produce, whatever produce you have. It's not a jambalaya.
That's right.
You don't get to mix whatever's around and stir it in there. Honey bunches of oats is a perfectly formed meal, and you have to eat it the way that God intended.
Mm-hmm. You want fruit in it? Buy the one with the freeze-dried fruit. This is not, choose your own fruit adventure here.
This is not choose your own fruit adventure. Honey bunches of oats has a select number of fruits that it allows in it, and it provides those options for you. You punk.
Who are you, sir?
How dare you?
So I have seen the Starbucks situation.
Yeah.
Where you get the cup and the toppings or the mix-ins are individually packaged.
Right.
I've seen oatmeal in restaurants where it's served on in a real bowl and you add all your stuff, you eat it there. Mm-hmm. What is really happening with oatmeal? Because there's got to be something in between that I feel is the cooler option, is the option. Is it like you go to a place? Is it like a Cold Stone Creamery, but for oatmeal?
Yeah, I would love that.
But so that's not a thing yet, or is that kind of?
I don't think so. No.
So how are people doing oatmeal when they're walking to work in downtown LA?
Nobody's eating hot breakfast foods while walking around downtown LA. I mean, Paul, we're not animals.
But it's all set up to eat on the go. You got the little cup, you set it up at the table when you get it, and then bam, you can walk and eat.
You could. I don't feel comfortable walking and eating with oatmeal because it's too hot. I feel like that just is inviting the universe for me to trip and fall and then scald my face, and then I have to explain to classrooms all over the country not to walk and eat with oatmeal because of all the scars all over my face. And they'll be like, "Mister, did you get blown up with an IED in Iraq?" No, I was walking across 4th and Main and I tripped in the middle of the street and dumped hot oatmeal on my face, and everybody laughed at me. And so, kids, please don't walk and eat oatmeal.
So is there something in between where you can get your oatmeal and they add in the mix-ins and then it's all ready to go, or no?
No, I mean, for the most part, I feel like that we've gotten to a point with oatmeal where you get the oats. So the hard part's done. You get the oats and they're cooked perfectly well. Well, depending on whether you're getting them at a restaurant or Starbucks. Starbucks is a hit or miss usually about how good it is. But yeah, and then they just allow you to have the options for you to customize, because that's kind of the beauty of the oatmeal now. It's
so it's sort of like when you go to Subway and they start doing the salad or your sandwich, and you can be like, so they've got your thing of oatmeal. You're like, let me get the banana, let me get the granola, and I'll do the agave nectar, and they're doing it as you go through, or is it more like a menu system where they have 10 items?
It's more like that they give you everything that they possibly can provide for you.
They just throw all this stuff at you.
Basically they give you the pot, and then they're just like, here are all the things that you can have, and so that you have like a Korean barbecue level of dishes all the way around you. You're just covered with like all kinds of like ramekins that you've never seen, and pitchers full of things.
I like that.
And you're just like pouring. Yeah, you just pour as much or as little as you want in there, and that. I mean, for a person like myself, that can be very anxious sometimes. That can be a control freak sometimes. It's very soothing to be able to control the levels of things that I want in my oatmeal and have the perfect oatmeal. And like I get to experiment along the way. I'd be like, this is what I usually like, and be like, you know what, today I'm feeling a little more maple syrup than usual, and I pour in a little maple syrup, and you know what. Today I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to have maple syrup and the brown sugar inside. And I pour the brown sugar in. And then I pour everything in. Dates, figs, whatever. And I just have like this. Sometimes I ruin it. But that's okay.
Maple syrup and brown sugar, huh?
Yeah, sometimes.
You live right on that edge, man.
I am on the bleeding edge.
You are like where the sidewalk ends, dude.
Shel Silverstein only knew where it was because I was already standing there with my bowl of oatmeal.
I think we're ready to wrap up this bad boy.
So that's all we have on oatmeal. Next week, we'll cover cream of wheat and grits, polenta, basically anything that you could boil and liquid and eat for breakfast. So join us for that next week. But until then, thank you guys for listening to the Super Cereal Podcast. We are so happy that you listened to us ramble on about hot cereal for so long. And you can continue to listen to us ramble on SoundCloud, on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Stitcher, and Overcast, and so many other places. Wherever you get podcasts, you can probably find us, and you should continue to listen to us.
You can also follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Tumblr, and on Instagram.
Don't forget, send us some messages. Send us some messages through either the ratings on iTunes or any of the other services. We have these vacuums inside of us that need your validation. We need for you to please give us your ratings. But also, if you just want to send us a message through social media, we're available in all those places if you just look up Super Cereal Podcast. And also, if you want to drop us an email at just super cereal email. Wait.
That's okay. It's a supercerealpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. If you want to reach us, you can drop us a line at super cereal. Never mind. Whatever Paul said. Paul said it.
Paul checks it 4 times a day, desperate for your approval. But yeah, reach out to us again. We're asking folks for their questions or their comments, their anger, their opinion, and we're gonna plan for later in the season to do a mailbag episode. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be great. So yeah, please send in anything that you want us to talk about, anything you want us to address that we haven't addressed yet. We would love to talk about it on the show. I think we nailed everything.
I don't want to be too arrogant, but I think we crushed it.
I think we definitely crushed it.
Steel crushed it.
We steel cut it up.
That's right. Well, this is Paul.
And this is Nick.
And this has been Cereal.
Cereal! Now let's cut and roll out of here.